Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and I'm doing a movie DVD and Blu-ray update. Been some time since I've done one of these, and the stack has grown, so let's get into it. So we'll start with the Blu-rays first, and the first one is one I had to make myself because Peter Jackson is taking too long. This is Brain Dead, also known as Dead Alive, New Zealand classic horror comedy. Everybody knows this film. So what we have here is my custom Blu-ray burnt on a BDR, and this contains the Lionsgate Blu-ray, the official one, but it's got the uncut German pieces of footage that are upscaled from standard definition, and the whole thing looks pretty good. You can find the custom Blu-ray floating around online, and I just made this cover, and I think it looks pretty good using the Japanese poster. And yeah, so this is gonna tide me by until Peter Jackson gets his shit together. And the next one, can you believe we're up to the 8th sniper film in the series? This is getting ridiculous now, but I love these things. They're just so much fun. Yeah, so we get Tom Berenger again, but he's an which means he's going to be in it for 10 minutes. This guy here, who is, I guess, Chad Michael Collins, he's been in the previous ones. These are just fun. They're just 90 minutes of blowing stuff up. That's all you get. That's all you need. Haven't checked this one out yet, but it's going to go on pretty soon, I think. Interesting, I found, is the Blu-ray. Interesting thing I found was that the upcoming Australian DVD, everybody here, Bai Ling and these guys, Tom and Chad, are all holding weapons, but on the American Blu-ray here, no guns. Don't know what's going on there, so interesting. But anyway, there you go, Sniper Assassin's End, the 8th film in that franchise. 8 sniper films. This is the Courier. I've been curious about this one for some time, and the price is now really cheap. It's about $12 on Amazon Australia. Starring Olga Kurylenko, who I'm not familiar with. Gary Oldman, again, putting on one of his mysterious makeup faces. He's just a master of changing his look and appearance for films. It's just quite crazy. And it's rated R for high impact blood and gore. That's why I bought this. That's my ticket to films, I think. Yeah, the Courier, don't shoot the messenger. If anybody's seen it, do let me know. It looks pretty good to me. Cheap pickup from the pawnbroker, Sinister II. Kind of odd to find the Blu-ray, the UK Blu-ray of Sinister II in an Australian pawnbroker, but there you go. I only seen the first film. First film's very good, but the second, I had DVD and I never got around to watching it because we only got an Australian DVD here. We didn't get a Blu-ray. Now I've got a Blu-ray. So if anybody's seen Sinister II, let me know if it compares anything at all to the original film, because the first one was lots of good fun, some good scares in the first one, and yeah, happy to have a nice Blu-ray of that as well for $3 I think I paid. I got 3 Ronin Flicks titles here. The first one is The Card Player. These are Dario Argento films. Card Player, nice slipcase. I've been eyeing these off from Diabolic for months now, and then the COVID thing happened and the prices all went up and the postage just got way more unreliable, and I just didn't do it, didn't pick them up. Amazon Australia is now carrying the Ronin Flicks titles on International Prime. Did not expect this to happen. So I picked up The Card Player, which is a pretty underrated later Argento. I like that one. Picked up Phantom of the Opera, which I remember not liking very much, but we'll give it another go. Same deal. Nice slipcase. These are Region A discs, Region A locked. And the third one is Sleepless, which is a really good later era Argento. So yeah, these are currently on Amazon Australia with International Prime, and for what these usually cost, pretty reasonable, about 45 Australian, which sounds a lot, but it would cost more from Diabolic and their shipping. And for whatever reason, Amazon is shipping most things now internationally by FedEx, so I don't pay for it either. I get free shipping with Prime. I got these in 4 days from the States. Okay. Some stuff from 88 Films. We got Witchcraft, La Casa 4. Witchcraft is cheesy as hell, but really good fun. This one's got Linda Blair. There's the alternate title, La Casa 4. The Italians like to make series out of things that don't belong in series, so it's supposed to be The House 4, even though we've already got... sorry, Evil Dead 4, not The House 4, Casa. But yeah, I like Witchcraft. It is silly as. It's got David Hasselhoff in it and Linda Blair, but I enjoy it. Yeah, nice Blu-ray from 88 Films, chock full of extras. We get... there's a booklet in here, there's notes, subtitles, the usual stuff, and then a bunch of interviews, sound of Witchcraft, the location shoots, short film from the director, which is cool. That's very cool. Check that one out. And yeah, that's Witchcraft. And along with that, La Casa 5, Beyond the Darkness. Another nice one from 88 Films. They got this cool sort of soft, it's a weird like matte finish, kind of like a leather couch or something. It's really quite strange on the slip. And yeah, this one's another good one. Quite silly again. A lot of these 80s Italian films can be quite silly, but this one's good fun. From Claudio Fragasso. And has a few extras. Interview with the daughter of Umberto Lenzi, so there you go, that's quite interesting. And commentary and trailers and stuff like that, so there you go, that's Beyond the Darkness on 88 Films. Very happy to have that one. And the next 88 Films Blu-ray we got is their new Jackie Chan one, Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. Awesome cover art on this one. Never seen Armor of God 2, actually. Only ever seen the first one. The original Cantonese poster under there, which is kind of boring, but at least it's authentic. Chock full of stuff. Lots of features in this one. We get 2K remaster from 35mm neg. Never before seen extended version, 117 minutes. That's pretty impressive. With the original Cantonese mono soundtrack. A Hong Kong version of the film, it's 107 minutes long, and the classic English dub is there if you want it. New subtitles, some interviews and audio commentary. It's quite packed actually, so there you go. Operation Condor, Armor of God 2. Really enjoying this Jackie Chan line that 88's been putting out. Hope they keep that going. From Eureka Films, we have Zoo Warriors from the Mountain. This one is quite a fun film, very colourful. Big fantasy epic. Starring, who do we have in this one? Well, it's directed by Sue Hark, and it's sort of what inspired Carpenter for Big Trouble in Little China. And yeah, it's a pretty epic fantasy kind of film. And yeah, it's pretty much chock-block again, full of features. We get the interview with Sue Hark and wraparound segment from Yuan Biao, who's the star. You get some kinds... what do we got here? The episode of Son of the Incredibly Strange Film Show. Don't know, there you go, that's interesting. And alternate opening credits and archival interviews and all kinds of cool stuff, so there you go. With Eureka, you get the other poster, but if you want to get in there early to their limited slip numbers, you also get a booklet, which they stop including once the original run is over. I think it's limited to 2,000, it's been out for a while, so if you want all the extra bits and pieces, you probably want to get on that pretty soon. I always fail at getting slip covers back on. Next one. This one was in the post for 10 weeks. This is Ip Man 4, the fourth film, obviously, in this really cool series with Donnie Yen. Put out by, this is Well Go, the American Blu-ray company. And really keen to check this one out. Blu-ray and DVD in there as well. Now, the reason that this one is going to be particularly interesting is it has Scott Adkins in it, in a role, and that's just instantly a sale for me to get Scott Adkins into a film like this. And yeah, well, the saga itself has just been really, really good telling of the story of Ip Man, and this is the one that I think this is the one that introduces Bruce Lee into the realm of things. So yeah, very cool. Should be chucking this one on soon. The finale. Let's see if it actually is the finale. 10 weeks in the post. This one, Colour Out of Space. This is the HMV exclusive edition from the UK. You can't buy it online. You've got to go get it from HMV in the UK, the shops. Very thankful to a long-time YouTuber, Ollie, who hooked me up with this. I put out the word and said, please, do you think you can pick this up for me? And he was more than happy to oblige. It arrived pretty quickly considering what's going on out there at the moment. So you get the nice Blu-ray in a black case, which is really cool, and big poster thing which I don't want to open up, but it is the same as the cover, and a nice booklet there, Colour Out of Space, with text and imagery from the film. Really, really cool. So this is they call them first edition is what HMV is calling these releases, and like I said, it's exclusive to their stores online and their bricks and mortar stores, but they do not ship overseas regardless of how you do it, so you need somebody in the UK. So thanks again, Ollie, for hooking me up with this. Very, very keen to check it out. Everyone's been talking about it, and yeah, Nicolas Cage, he was great in Mandy, so I'm hoping he's great in Colour Out of Space. And the last Blu-ray, cannot believe Australia is the first country in the world to get this on Blu-ray. The classic War of the Worlds. What a fantastic release this is. This is from a new label called Imprint, which is the imprint label of Viavision. They're doing, they're taking their chances with a sort of a boutique sub-label, doing fancy releases in nice packaging, and it's really nice. Sort of slick slipcover there, quite a sturdy thing, and the alternate cover inside on the disc. It's marked number 1 for those collectors that have to have everything. I'm not doing it this time. Not at this time, I say. Really cool inside art there from the film. The presentation is sensational. The film has never looked this good. It is yeah, beautifully remastered. They did a 4K scan, was commissioned earlier this year, I think. Is doing the rounds on some streaming services. They've done some amazing work to clean up the footage and be respectful. So like the removal of the strings that hold up the ships. So that's sort of the extent of those changes. You never meant to see those strings. When you saw them in the cinema back in 1953, you wouldn't have seen those strings, so it makes sense to get rid of them now when the 4K scanning basically reintroduced them. So they've blotted those out, which is good. Slight problem with the scan. Niggling point, the opening shot of Mars is blue. Mars is a red planet. I guess the colorist was asleep at the wheel, but it's only for about 8 seconds or so of footage, and yeah, it's kind of strange. The American release is coming out from Criterion. They've promised to make the Mars red again. Make Mars red again. But I'm happy enough with this. I can deal with that. It's got all kinds of special features, audio commentary, The Sky is Falling, the Making of War of the Worlds documentary, which I watched, was very good. H.G. Wells' Father of Science Fiction featurette. And the Mercury Theatre on Air presents War of the Worlds radio broadcast from 1938. So that's the original one that Orson Welles inflicted on America and sent everybody bananas for an afternoon. So that's really cool. Awesome final release of War of the Worlds on Blu-ray. Now onto the DVDs, and the first one is War of the Worlds again, but not quite. This is the Asylum version of War of the Worlds. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't know why I keep doing these things to myself, but anyway. It's not as bad as I was expecting. It's actually pretty reasonable. This one's from 2005. It was shot on film. This is Asylum in their early days. I guess there was a bit more money being thrown around, or not too sure, but C. Thomas Howell, acting is actually pretty good. Jake Busey shows up for a few scenes and is being very abusive. And there's Peter Green as well. It's not too bad. It's an interesting take. It's a bit more... Well, this would have been a response to the Hollywood film from the same year, and it follows a bit more along the lines of that plot than the traditional film plot. It's not too bad. The ships in this actually look like this cover. So like Asylum films, usually nothing looks anything like the cover, but that is a good representation of what the thing in the movie looks like, and there's a bunch of them. And yeah, that's not far wrong either. Like, it's actually pretty close. So yeah, props to Asylum for giving this one a good go. I got this one new on eBay for $15 or something. Seems to be really hard to find this first film. I don't know why. There's none on eBay now. There's the only sale in the past is my one. I assume there's a US release. There's a part 2, which I've had for years. I haven't watched, but there we go. That's the War of the Worlds Asylum version, 2005. Not bad. Got a few things from Pawnbroker and the Minis that I haven't watched yet. This is Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. Don't know much about this one, just looked kind of interesting. Betty Davis from 1964, so it's a bit of a classic thriller. Let's read a little bit from the back here. The state wants her property in order to construct a new highway to help her resist. Charlotte turns to her worldly cousin and old friend, and that's when the scares and shocks start in this expertly paced thriller. So there you go, just a bit of old school 60s thriller fun. Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. Not seen it, let me know if you have. We've got The Turn of the Screw. This one looked pretty interesting. So this is from the Dean Curtis Macabre collection. He did a Dracula and then a bunch of others. I think they might be listed inside. Yep. The other ones that are in that collection, which I don't have, but I wouldn't mind trying to find a few more of these. You get his version of Dracula, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dead of Night, Frankenstein, Dorian Gray will be quite interesting, and then this Turn of the Screw. So I think these might be telemovies. Yes, I think that could be right. From the 1970s, yeah, 1973. So there you go. Yeah, Turn of the Screw. I don't know a great deal about it, but all of these films have a nice gothic undertone that seems quite interesting. So yeah, it stars Lynn Redgrave, and yeah, looking forward to checking it out. If you've seen Turn of the Screw, let me know. And yeah, here is a hammer that I didn't have, Revenge of Frankenstein. Now, I thought I had this in the big Blu-ray box set or on any of the subsequent discs. Turns out, no, this one did not have an Australian Blu-ray yet. I think there's an American Blu-ray. But anyway, the DVD cost me all of $2 and is a nice print. So yeah, just another hammer that I don't have, and another Frankenstein that I've never seen. So Peter Cushing's always good value. Looking forward to checking out this one. Revenge of Frankenstein. Yeah, very nice. And if you can recommend one of the Blu-rays that maybe I should check out, then yeah, let me know. Got a documentary here which cost me all of $6.74 on Amazon with Prime shipping. In one day it took arrive, which was fantastic. Iron Fists and Kung Fu Kicks. Highly recommended documentary. Not from the director, but from the producers of Not Quite Hollywood. Very much in the similar style of that documentary, and yeah, it's fantastic. It kicks off with lots of footage and the history behind Shaw Brothers, and then it moves into the 70s and 80s when Shaw Brothers were not what the public were after as much anymore, and then it was moving into Bruce Lee films and Jackie Chan films, and just grows and grows, and it starts talking about Western influence. Lots of interview footage with Richard Norton, Cynthia Rothrock, even Scott Adkins is talking a bit in this one. Excellent documentary. It goes for about 100 minutes, and yeah, well worth the $6.74 I paid for it. I'm pretty sure it's streaming on maybe American Amazon Prime for free, so I think that's where it is. You've got no excuse not to check it out. If you like documentaries and you like martial arts, this is very, very good. I feel like watching it again right now, so that's what you should get. Yeah, so it's through Umbrella on DVD in Australia. Is cheap enough in JB, but is just price of a coffee on Amazon at the moment. If you've got Prime, there's no excuse. You should pick it up. Iron Fist and Kung Fu Kicks. A couple I found in the city. It's always cool to find this stuff wild in an Australian shop, like a physical shop. This is the old Shriek Show Tokyo Shock release of Monster Strikes Back Attack the G8 Summit. Man, I don't know. It looks like a bit of a parody of kaiju films. It's from 2008. If you look at those creatures there, some proper rubber guy in costume stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty manic. It's got Beat Takeshi in a special appearance, so that's always good value. And yeah, it's just big creatures versus the G8 Summit. Okay, that's what Japan does. And yeah, so it's a Japanese audio, English subtitles, and as I said, it's from Tokyo Shock, which I think is a sub-label of Shriek Show, or at least somehow related. So yeah, happy to pick this one up. This one is heaps rare. This is, how do I say it? Ohachi Code of the Forgotten Eight. This is a bit of a sleazy Pinku film, and yeah, from the director Teruo Ishii from Horrors of Malformed Men. Yep, I don't know, I haven't seen it. Am I allowed to show that? Yes, I can show that. I can't show you the insides. Yes, I sort of can. Behind the disc is alternate cover up. Behind the disc is the topless version of that, which I thought was quite nice. So yeah, it's got a mercenary swordsman and all kinds of violence and boobs. So there you go. I'll be checking this one out soon. Toei film from 1973. So from the yeah, Toei Japanese film house, and yeah, I don't know much about it. It just looks great, and I know it's pretty hard to find, so pretty stoked to find this one. Very good. This one has been on my list for years, and it finally showed on eBay. In fact, both of these two releases I have to congratulate and thank Extra the Mutilator, long time friend and collaborator of this channel, who sent me the eBay links to the auctions, which I didn't spend any time thinking about. I just knew I had to grab them. This one is Mr. Vampire 3 on the Joy Sales Legendary line. Impossible to find these things, and this was the only one I needed from the series. Mr. Vampire 3. It's the other side, which is a really cool Japanese poster. Not Japanese, Chinese poster. So yeah, like I said, this is the one I needed. I have obviously Mr. Vampire 1 has many releases. I've got the HKL DVD, and there's a new Blu-ray from Eureka coming out, which I pre-ordered. But I had parts 2, 4, and Vampire vs. Vampire. Needed 3. Here we are. Very cool. I can now binge the entire series, which was the plan. So these are about just hopping vampires and horror comediness with Richard Ng and Lam Ching. So, yep. I'm very happy to get part 3 in this series. Very cool, Mr. Vampire 3. Really love the Legendary line. I've got quite a few of them now. And the last one, the last DVD for this update, I've been after for about the same amount of time. I forgot about it for ages. I put some markers out to try and find me a copy. People in Hong Kong, I tried to get me a copy of this thing, and it showed up on American eBay. Magic Crystal. Yes, I've been after this for ages. So much so that I forgot what the film was about. This is awesome. This is Andy Lau from mid-90s. When is this exactly? Or is it late 80s actually? I think it's late 80s, sorry. And it's got, yeah, Andy Lau, Cynthia Rothrock, Richard Norton. It's a rip-off of Indiana Jones. It's got bits of E.T. There's a kid that talks to a green crystal in this film. It's just completely bonkers. This is the only release you want to get. There are no other releases worth your time and money. This is the Mi-Ah release from... Does it have a year on it? Doesn't have a year on it, but it's probably about 2005. Long out of print. This was practically new, like so much so it's hard to open the case. And I had that satisfying beautiful clicking sound when they're brand new. Show some posters inside of the other things that Mia sell or sold. This is part of their sort of remastered line that they do. Completely bonkers film. Completely bonkers. It was way more bonkers than I was expecting. So Andy Lau gets invited to go to Greece. Lots of this film is shot in Greece, to try and find his friend who has gone missing. Somehow gets caught up in looking for this jade crystal, which is actually a talking crystal. That's when this ET subplot and the befriending a kid kicks off. It's strange. It's all in Cantonese with English subtitles. Cynthia Rothrock shows up as the Interpol agent, so she's on the good side, also trying to get the crystal. And you've got Richard Norton, Australian Richard Norton, who is dubbed in Cantonese but playing a Russian. Beautiful. And he's the bad guy trying to get the crystal, and so everyone just ends up kickboxing each other. So there's some superb, really good martial arts with all three of these people, and it's just a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Probably one of my, it's gone pretty close to the top of one of my favourite Hong Kong action films, I think. Magic Crystal. It is delirious. It's so much fun. The director, his name has completely escaped me. Wong Jing also plays a character in the film, sort of the comedy shtick character, and he's lots of fun. It doesn't play too much on the comedy. Sometimes Hong Kong films can get a bit crazy in the comedy, and you need to be Chinese to really get it. Not so much with this. This one is really understandable comedy and really awesome action. Some Jackie Chan style, like using chairs to fight, that kind of stuff. So there you go. That's Magic Crystal, the Mia release. Don't buy the German DVD, which has got sort of a bluey purple cover because it's English dubbed. You don't want that. You want this one, original language. Just search for it and save your eBay searches, and you'll eventually find it, like I did. And that's the DVD and Blu-ray update. Thanks for watching. See you next time.